Hello, welcome to day 2 of our tarot journey. Got some better lighting today, hot freaking damn, because we want to see what we are doing today, especially because we are working with this beautiful anime deck. Ah, yes, look at the light. Look at it glow. Might be a glare, but it's fine. So, unlike yesterday's deck, this is a proper deck, got a little booklet, which we will be using for interpretations today, as well as obviously my own knowledge. And then I'm a sucker for a ribbon. Look at this. Beautiful. Beautiful. This artist, 10 out of 10. So let's get the box out of the way. And let's start talking about the tarot spread for growth. Because I thought it was very exciting when I found this. I like to do at least I'm going to try to do on Thursdays, the Emerald Lotus Division.com has an entire library, a free library at that, which is very rare in the tarot card community. She has a whole, there we go, a whole library, and I would love to go through each and every single one and like give a shout out and all that jazz. So we are going to start with the tarot spread for growth. It is a 5-card tarot spread, and I always like to say this at the beginning, but sorry, I'm like moving it so that you can see my hands, and I'm making you dizzy. Anyway, I always say that I'm doing the tarot spread for myself because it's really hard to get someone else's energy when they're not here. Maybe that will change when we have like an abundance of people watching at the same time, but maybe not. So, it is a 5-card tarot spread for growth. First card is a part of myself that I'm outgrowing. How I can shed this layer gracefully. Why this change is important for me. How this alters my life moving forward. And a message from Spirit. Cheese and crackers. The ancestors have a lot to say today. Wow, like they won't let me shuffle the deck. We're going to try this one more time. Because they got a lot to say and they're just throwing cards at me, and that's not what we're here for today. Okay, one more time. Part of myself that I'm outgrowing. How I can shed this layer gracefully. Why this change is important for me. How this alters my life moving forward. And a message from Spirit. One more because we're a lucky bunch. All right, here we go. Ooh, gotta back you up. How are you supposed to see? Okay. Part of myself that I'm outgrowing. How I can shed this layer gracefully. Why this change is important for me. How this alters my life moving forward. And a message from Spirit. I'm back you up because this is a long spread instead of a wide spread. It's a long spread. So I want you to be able to see all the cards as fully as possible. There we go. Okay. Move you over just a smidgen so you don't fall off the table. We're going to get better at this every single week, guys. It's going to be exciting. So, what do we have here? I'm going to put the rest of the deck over here since we have some space. So, total, like, tiny side note before we get into this. If you're ever shuffling the deck and, like, how all the cards just kept, like, falling every time I shuffled it, it was, like, one card, a whole handful of cards, like, faced up. That is, in my humble opinion, the universe telling you something. The universe trying to give you a symbol, a message, and clearly the universe had a lot to say today, but we're here for a specific purpose, and I have to focus that energy into the deck and make sure that the The questions that I was trying to ask were getting a cross to the other side instead of thus letting the other side give me their opinions, advice, ideas. Because just like family, you don't want to be overwhelmed with options and people in your ear when you're trying to ask something very specific. It's not very helpful. So we're going to put that intention today for our growth tarot spread provided by Emerald Lotus Divination.com. I always want to say divine, and it's divination. So, a part of myself that I'm outgrowing. Six of Swords reversed. How I can shed this layer gracefully. Four of Discs. Why this change is important for me. Justice. How this alters my life moving forward. Ace of Wands reversed. And a message from Spirit. Queen of Wands. Now, I don't know if anyone noticed before, but this fell like flat as the top of whatever. I think it was like, it might have been 5 cards, but I believe it was 4 cards that fell faced up. This was exactly like this. So Spirit clearly has a message for us today as to what they want to say. So we're going to go through one by one as we usually do, and we're going to be using this beautiful, oh dear Neptune, this beautiful anime book that it came with. It literally will tell you. I love how I actually like went to her page. That was not intentional. It has the picture of the card as well as the upright meaning and the reversed of every single card. We only have one major arcana today with us, which is the Justice card, which I think is interesting because that is symbolizing why this change is important for me. And we're going to dive into what that major arcana card has to offer in a second, but we're going to start with our upside down 6 of Swords. Every time I see this, it always reminds me of like plans that are not going in the direction that you want them to. It's kind of like when you see the cartoons where the boat's on the wave and then it like, and then it's in the ocean and it's upside down. So a part of myself that I'm outgrowing is the 6 of Swords. Let's see what the booklet has to say about the 6 of Swords. If I can find it. When the 6 of Swords shows up reversed, it represents holes in our boats. No matter how hard we try to get our plans right, our boat keeps springing leaks. This refusal to learn from our mistakes prolongs the ill effects of the lessons the universe is trying to teach us. You do have the information to build your boat well if you allow yourself to calm down before you try again. You've got this. So part of myself that I'm outgrowing is not learning from past mistakes. That's how I would take it if I was reading this for someone else. Not learning from past mistakes and consistently just trying to push forward when all the pieces aren't down on the board yet. All the ideas have not been said. And, blazing forward, yesterday we had learned about the difference between fool and being foolish and being innocent with our fool/innocent tarot reading yesterday. And I feel like that kind of speaks a little bit today because, if you are going forward without a plan, you're going forward and you keep seeing that the plan that you have put in place is not working, then you obviously need to take a step back and take a beat and a breath. And if you're not learning from that, then you're not going to get very far. So that is something that I'm outgrowing, how I can shed this layer gracefully. 4 discs. Love this girl. She has her grip on her material wealth, her material abundance. It's not like it's an amount that she can't contain, because if you look at her foot, she got this one unlocked, this one unlocked, this one unlocked, this one unlocked. She has control over her situation in the material world, because anytime I see discs or pentacles, if you want to call them that, it is all about the material world, material growth, and what abundance we can get from it. So How I can shed this layer gracefully. The Four of Discs represents a solid foundation upon which to build material stability. This card is urging us to construct something that will keep us safe, but not to take more than we need. Build walls that will protect everyone in your community and watch yourself gain more than if you'd only been building to protect yourself. So, stability is 100% something that you can obtain with this card. But notice that it was like not in excess. It's enough. Enough that you like all four limbs are covered. I am not overwhelmed in this card. It's a very simple, I have what I came for and I am secure. It's secure in my possession. That's what I get from this card. So, why this change is important. So we started off with someone who didn't really necessarily know how to move forward without repeating past mistakes. You kind of need to get out of that, grow past that. And in order to do that, you can gracefully build a foundation that will not only include yourself, and it doesn't have an abundance of wealth. It has wealth, but it's not like, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed with wealth. But you can shed this layer of not understanding gracefully by building a solid foundation, taking what you need, taking enough so you have something to not only take care of yourself, but others around you. And it will benefit you more than if you were just building it for yourself. So why this change is important. We are back to our major and only major arcana card, Justice. Justice is a balancer. Obviously, the word justice makes you think of our judicial system, wherever you are in the world, whether that's a positive thing or a negative thing, but keeping things in balance, making sure that things are right, wrong, everything in between. But let's see what this booklet has to say. So with the major arcana cards, I'm just going to say this now, it gives you a little, it gives you a little description about what the major arcana is itself. So the Justice card, this is the description for that. And then you have the upright and the reverse. So I'm going to be reading the meaning of this, and then I'll be reading the upright card kind of like in one swoop because it is upright. So why this change is important for me. Just like a detective, the Justice card asks us to figure out our true motives so we can adjust our behavior to better reflect the truth of a situation. Justice reminds us that it is the process of constant assessment and balancing that allows us to make the best decisions. It's time to weigh the consequences of your decisions before you take any action. When a detective attempts to find the truth, they examine all the available evidence. Similarly, the Justice card asks us to assess our lives and determine which aspects should be kept and which ones no longer serve us. Everyone's truth is subjective. Are you living by yours? So this is why this change is important, because you're coming from a place where you don't always slow down and take a beat before returning to the problem at hand. It's reminding you that in order to get this stability, in order to move from this place that's no longer servicing you, where you're just kind of like winging it, you need to take a step back and find that stability that is going to be able to bring abundance, not only yourself, but the people around you. And it's important because you want to be able to make sure that you're secure. You want to be able to make sure that you have looked at all the options, the opportunities, you've weighed the pros and cons, and you're moving forward in the correct direction that's going to manifest something for you. You don't want to put all this effort into something and then it just ends up like a smashed potato. That sounds very sad. It sounds very yummy, but it sounds very sad. So how this alters my life moving forward, we have the Ace of Wands reversed. This is the second card that is reversed in our deck. And notice all the reversed cards are in a line. You have the Six of Swords reversed, you have the Ace of Wands reversed, and then later on we will discover what the spirit, great universe above is trying to tell us with the Queen of Wands. So our Ace of Wands, how this alters my life moving forward. Wands are a very powerful thing. They not only pierce through the intuition of whatever's in the great beyond, but it also can be seen as forging our inner flame, forging our inner spirit. And aces are a representation of beginnings. So even though it is a upside down beginning, could be a beginning with delays. but it has to do with piercing that intuition, piercing our inner fire. When it comes to wands and swords, like this is a sword, this is a wand. Um, I have an interesting habit of interchanging their elements just because someone once told me in a reading that swords are forged in fire, and that is very true. If you can see, I don't know if you can see it very well. I have two katanas here. Swords are very important in my life, and I want to be able to acknowledge that yes, without fire, you cannot forge a sword. So when it comes to wands and swords, especially when they are um, appearing in the deck together, I like to see them as like a combo, like a leveling up, because you have both that element of fire and air working in your favor. Air being intellect, air being the spirit, fire being your spirit, fire being your drive, your ability to manifest and get yourself out of bed and do everything you need to do. So, this Ace of Wands, being able to see how this alters my life moving forward, the Ace of Wands reversed can represent energy directed in a reckless manner. Don't rush into any new projects or situations without giving yourself time to slow down and think everything through. So, again, another card that is reminding us that in order to get rid of this, even though it is not a major arcana card, I feel like it's still a powerful energy because it's showing you that you are not fully prepared. You have this bad habit of not being fully prepared. In order to do that, you need to get grounded and stable. The best way to understand why this change is important is because you need balance. You need to be able to make sure that all of the pieces that you're looking at, it makes sense that you're looking at them. It makes sense that they're there. And how this alters your life moving forward, it gives you that reminder once again that, again, this is a new beginning because it's an ace, but you need to make sure that your energy is directed in a way that is not reckless, that is not going to bring you back down to this habitual state. Because if you have something that you're outgrowing, that you're trying to shed with something else, it's going to take time. It's going to not be something that's like, oh yeah, let's change this tomorrow and all will be well for the rest of our lives. It's something you have to work on. You have to consistently make sure that this new beginning, you're not over here reckless, haphazard, and going off of your normal everyday rhetoric, that you're trying to add change. You're trying to add positive influences, not only from outside, like eating healthy or things like that, but also internally, making sure you take a beat, making sure you take a breath, making sure that you're really, really, really focused on what you are trying to manifest and create, because it's the beginning. You want to make sure that you're starting in the correct way. You don't want to be all crazy and crusty. So the final card that we have is a message from Spirit. And like I said earlier, this card was one of the cards that fell out. If I can pick it up. One of the cards that fell out when I was originally shuffling the deck today. And I'm really curious as to what the Queen of Wands has to say, because like I said, wands are forging ahead with the spirit, but it's also connected to our spirit, our inner fire, our drive. And queens are normally those people that are full of intellect, wisdom, heart. And I feel like she is no exception, but she's upside down. So most people see upside down cards as a negative card. I just see it as a delay, a strong warning, a strong message. Like it's almost stronger than if it would be upright, because so many people see it as a negative thing. I feel like it has a lot of power. Negative has a lot of power just as much as positive has a lot of power. So, what is the message that Spirit is trying to tell us today with this reversed Queen of Wands? The Queen may be behaving in a selfish or greedy manner when reversed. Though she has the ability and wisdom to exalt herself, she isn't sharing her rich insights with others. Remembering that there are other queens in her kingdom can help this regal woman regain her balance. Okay. So, if I was reading this for someone else, I would say that in order to get from this place that is no longer servicing you, of moving forward and not necessarily thinking everything through or taking a beat before you like restart the battle again, in order to get out of this, you need to build something that is not only going to be stable for you, but stable for the people around you to build that abundance and growth and not monotony, but stability and consistency that you are looking for to be able to prosper. And it is important because you need balance in your life. You need to be able to have that confidence that every opportunity and option and idea and advice has been looked at, weighed, and measured, so you are not moving in a reckless manner. So you can balance yourself and make sure that the people in your life are seeing you as someone that isn't selfish or greedy, but that they have the wisdom to move forward, the wisdom to get out of this place, to be like, oh, I always just kind of go off the cuff, or I try again and try again, even if it's not servicing me. So you want to make sure that in this journey that you have going on here with this reading, that the spread for growth is making sure that all of your ducks are in a row, all of your opportunities have been toyed with, expressed, looked through, whatever you want to call it, because you don't want to be moving in a reckless manner. And you surely don't want to be over here greedy, selfish, not in a right state of mind that will give you the wisdom and clarity. Because if you're going off of like a gut thing, or if you're going off of emotional thing, and you're not really tuning into reality, you're not tuning into your truth, then you're going to get lost and you're going to end up right back where you started. So that is just one interpretation of these cards, of this deck, of this reading in general. I humbly encourage you to look at other people on YouTube, on other places where our tarot community is spread nice, wide, and all over the world. And that is all I have for today and this week. We will be back on Tuesday at 9:30/9:40 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12:30/12:40 Eastern Standard Time, just because before this we do a yoga and meditation uh, session, and sometimes it goes a little longer than initially anticipated, but we will always be here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So if you are interested in learning more about tarot, I will see you then. Have a bright, beautiful, amazing day, and I love you. Bye.